I know what everybody is thinking after tonight's SmackDown Live. I want you guys to understand something, okay? I don't want any of you to worry. I don't want any of you to go to sleep tonight having nightmares about what happened on SmackDown Live tonight. But Titus O'Neil got a very generous discount at Sam's Club for all the Thanksgiving feast that was SmackDown Live tonight with a New Day in the bar. Cranberry sauce, the yams, the stuffing, 2 or 3 different birds. What else do we serve on Thanksgiving? Maybe some cornbread, some wine, pumpkin pie. It was all taken care of. So please, don't worry about how much Titus Catering spent on tonight's festivities. Sam's Club hooked him up. This was the worst SmackDown Live of 2018. I have a feeling I'm going to be doing a lot of yelling on this particular SmackDown Live review. And I don't know why. I just feel like yelling and complaining about something. Monday Night Raw didn't help the cause with the lowest rated show in the history of Monday Night Raw. The Rams and the Chiefs certainly played a factor in that, but the show really kind of told the tale. The show was actually worth a 1.63 rating that they actually got on Monday night. Man, oh man, where do I begin? Where do I begin with SmackDown Live? Listen. Charlotte Flair. Let's talk about Charlotte Flair. Becky got hurt. We all know the Nia Jax deal. Nia Jax is now called the face breaker. They are really playing off the fact that Nia Jax is the most hated woman in the WWE. And so be it. I think it's a great move. I think it's not only a great move, I think it's a fucking brilliant move. It's the only thing that WWE had left to do with this situation. It happened. So you might as well just start thinking about how could we make this into a positive? After everybody crying out that this is the worst possible thing going into the Survivor Series, WWE took it and they ran with it. And now Nia Jax has actual, legit, genuine, organic heat. And that is the best kind of heat because you know when she comes out, you know what she is, you know what type of character she's portraying, and it works. And it actually fits into the greater storyline moving forward. Becky Lynch obviously couldn't compete at Survivor Series against Ronda Rousey. WWE had Becky as SmackDown Live Women's Champion come out and choose Charlotte Flair to go one-on-one with Ronda Rousey. Now, if we backtrack a little bit after watching this particular episode of SmackDown Live, you can see and you can start to see everything unraveling. You could start to see WWE's reasoning for what they did. Asuka wasn't going to work, even though I'd still like to see someday Asuka versus Ronda Rousey when Asuka is built up. Nobody else on that roster, because everybody else is fucking irrelevant, would have worked in that situation. So Charlotte, by default, was the only logical choice. You may be thinking that Charlotte was the only logical choice, but to WWE, yes, Charlotte is the only logical choice, but WWE always has a few tricks up their sleeve. We get to Survivor Series. We get the match that we get. A lot of people, including me, loved what happened at Survivor Series. Some people were saying it was the best women's match of the entire year. I would not put it above what Charlotte and Becky did at Evolution, but for the night, it may have been match of the night. And even I wouldn't even go that far. I'd still give the nod to Daniel Bryan and Brock Lesnar. So we get the match that we got, and then after everything happened, the match and the post-match beatdown, you start to see everything unraveling. It looked like WWE merely took out Becky because they had to, inserted Charlotte because she was the only logical choice, And because of sheer laziness, WWE gave us probably what would have been the same exact situation with Becky, but they did it with Charlotte. Are you following along with me so far? Good. So we get everything that happened. And WWE's logic is, yes, Charlotte makes sense. But here's the thing. WWE is so upset. They are infuriated at the fact that Becky Lynch is the most popular women's superstar in the entire company. Becky Lynch is the most over superstar, period, in the entire company, and she was not chosen for such a position. She got there on her own. She got there because she rode the fans' love and the momentum that the fans were giving her. It was a huge wave that wiped out all of WWE's Hang 10, dude. All the surfers on that big wave. It knocked all of them motherfuckers off. Except for Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch rode that wave like a fucking beast. Great white sharks coming out of the fucking ocean trying to fucking eat her. She said, fuck you, man. Fuck you. I ain't going nowhere. I'm riding this wave and you gotta fucking catch me. Catch me if you can. That's what Becky Lynch is doing right now. She was not given authority to be put in such a position. She got there on her own. And we all know WWE loathes this. By default, Becky Lynch pushed Charlotte's shit in, and their precious baby Charlotte was now the second most popular superstar on SmackDown Live in the women's division. Not to WWE. That can't be. That can't be. I'll show them. I'll show them there's always a loophole. The fans think they know. I'm Vince McMahon. I'm Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Right? So Survivor Series was his easy out. How do I get one back at the fans? I'll take Charlotte in Becky's position, and I'll do with Charlotte what we were gonna do with Becky, and I'll make Charlotte look cool. I'll make Charlotte look cool. Let me have Charlotte go out there and go ballistic on the beloved Ronda Rousey. Do you know what this sounds like? It sounds very eerily familiar to the Roman Reigns bullshit that we got when they gave him the Universal Championship and nobody fucking wanted it. So what did they do? They put Seth Rollins with Roman Reigns on multiple occasions. Even before the Shield was fully formed, they took a red-hot Seth Rollins and they put him with a fucking lukewarm, not even lukewarm, ice-cold Roman Reigns. Why? Because they figured Seth Rollins was so fucking hot that would rub off on Roman Reigns. Meanwhile, Roman Reigns was so ice cold that it actually killed Seth Rollins. The same thing is about to happen here. Becky is Seth Rollins in this instance. Becky is so white hot that WWE thinks that they could book Charlotte in a similar manner while Becky is not there, and get her over, make her look cool, and get her back to where they think Charlotte should be. But it's not going to work. It's not going to work, WWE. So why are you giving me forced garbage? Why? Stop forcing shit. You've taken Becky Lynch with the most organic fucking push that you could possibly ever conceive for a professional wrestler, and you're turning it around to do the same thing with Charlotte, and you're failing miserably already. You're taking something that's organic and you're making it feel unnatural. It doesn't work. It's not going to work. Why does Charlotte feel the need to go all psychotic all of a sudden? Why? Is there a reason? The only thing she should be feeling is, I guess, content. Because Becky, after everything Becky did and beat the shit out of her at Evolution and retain the championship, Charlotte should A, feel lucky that Becky even wants to still associate with you. B, you, out of all the things, you should have respect for the champ. You should feel prideful that she chose you to go at Ronda Rousey at the Survivor Series. And here WWE is spinning the narrative once again. They're taking Becky's spotlight once again because she's not the chosen one. Yes, Charlotte fought with Becky. She fought by Becky's side, and now she's fighting for Becky. You couldn't leave it at that. You couldn't leave it at that. Why? I don't understand. Why you feel the need to rewrite the narrative when the narrative is writing itself for you. You do realize that the more you continue to push Charlotte in this unnatural way, the more and more quickly it will backfire on you. So I ask Mr. Dog, D-O-double-G, why don't you just leave things the way that they are? Push Charlotte as the woman. Didn't she come out like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, saying that she wasn't the right woman for the job? Now all of a sudden you want to push Charlotte as a psychotic son of a bitch to take Becky's spotlight while Becky is not there. How do you think that's going to look in the eyes of the fans? You know, this would actually make sense if you were building towards the horsewomen of MMA versus the horsewomen of WWE. This Charlotte is the exact Charlotte that we need to see when you get Jessamine, Marina, Ronda, and Shayna all together on the main roster. This is the Charlotte that we need to see when that happens. This is not the Charlotte that we need now. What exactly is the narrative you're scripting here? What is it? Ronda Rousey came out on Monday Night Raw and said, when I get my hands on Charlotte Flair, we're going to write chapter 2 to this story. You do realize that with the brand split, or within the grounds of the brand split, Charlotte and Ronda Rousey will not and cannot meet at TLC. They will not and cannot meet at the Royal Rumble. They will not and cannot meet at the Elimination Chamber. Same goes for Fastlane if there's a fucking Fastlane this year, which I hope to God that there isn't. So the only logical place, after all those pay-per-views get big fat zeros, is WrestleMania. So what exactly are you priming us for? What are you getting ready for? Did you hear all the fans' cries after Becky was taken out of the Survivor Series and you had a gold mine on your hands? It wasn't the gold mine that you wanted. So you put Charlotte in that match with Ronda Rousey and it just was a reconfirmation for you, or reaffirmation for you that, well, we wanted this and then we wanted Becky, and now since we've seen Ronda and Charlotte Survivor Series, we're going to go back with Ronda and Charlotte again for WrestleMania. Is that what you're doing? Is that what you're doing? So Becky, the way I see it, because there's no other fucking explanation for it, if Charlotte's being built up like this, that means that Ronda is 100% in her future. But when? It's got to be at WrestleMania, because there's no other fucking pay-per-view to do it. So then when does Becky get her shot at Ronda? One-on-one. Is she ever going to get a shot at Ronda? One-on-one. Or are you going to give Becky Ronda, but Charlotte has to be sharing the spotlight with Becky Lynch because she's the golden one. She's the queen. She's the one that you guys want, and Becky really wasn't the one that you wanted at all. Bullshit. Bullshit. This reeks of political agenda. 100%. If you guys don't like what I'm saying, tough fucking shit. You could fucking suck my dick for all I give a shit. This is exactly, I didn't stutter one fucking time during this cold open. Not one. Not one. I have no notes. I didn't recite this in the fucking mirror. I didn't fucking sit on my iPad and type anything during this piece of shit show tonight. This is all coming from the fucking heart. All coming from the fucking gut. You don't like what I'm talking about because I'm ragging on your precious Charlotte Flair? Or I'm a Becky mark? Fuck you! Fuck you! This is bullshit. Now, the one thing I will say, there's only one glimmer of positivity to come out of this. Now, I understand that Becky isn't on TV right now, but whose fault is that? Becky is not active as an in-ring performer right now. That doesn't mean she can't be on TV. Alexa Bliss is not an active in-ring performer, but I have to see the fucking side of her every week. For what? For what? If you have multiple concussions, then you shouldn't be on TV. If Becky can't be on TV, then Alexa shouldn't be on TV. Because Becky is greater than Alexa. Ever was. So I ask again, because Becky is not on TV, we can't get the presence of Becky on SmackDown Live? Because she's got a concussion or a broken face? Maybe she needs surgery. I don't know. We haven't heard anything in regards to Becky Lynch. But the one glimmer of positivity that comes out of this is, yes, I do want everybody to be on the level of Becky Lynch. I do. That's what the great thing about professional wrestling is. You take someone like a Becky Lynch and you use them as a benchmark for the rest of the division. That means Charlotte should be on the same level as Becky. Asuka should be on the same level as Becky. The fucking irrelevant IIconics, how garbage they are, should be on the same level as a Becky Lynch. So the only thing that I see here is WWE is trying to build Charlotte up to be on the same level as Becky, but it's coming off in a very unnatural way. They're doing it because they have to, because Charlotte is the chosen one. And Charlotte can't be outdone by somebody that wasn't in the original script to be the number one of this division. So I'd love to see anybody refute what I stated here. More than likely, you will not. Moving on. Let's talk about how Charlotte opened the show here. And we're going to listen to the promo that she cut on SmackDown Live with Paige coming out and potentially could have led to something really fucking good, but WWE failed to have any creativity once again. So here's the opening to SmackDown Live with Charlotte and Paige tonight on the show.
This past Sunday, I put the baddest beating on the so-called baddest woman on the planet, and I am damn proud of it. Ronda, are you walking a little slower today? Are you looking at your bruises and your welts? Are you looking for an apology? Well, you know what? You're not gonna find one because I'm not sorry.
The only thing that could happen here, and this is exactly how I would book it. Now, if WWE really wants to push Charlotte as a heel, and as far as I'm concerned, what she did on Sunday night was very heel-like, correct? So this is what WWE is going to do. Now, they didn't position Charlotte as a heel tonight because a heel battled two heels. Charlotte battled both Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. So right now, as of right now, they're not really pushing Charlotte as a heel because the IIconics are heels, and that really didn't make much sense tonight. So if you are wanting to push Charlotte as a heel, she should have went up against someone like Naomi or Alana or someone like that. So they failed to do that tonight. The only thing that I could think of here, and this is exactly how I would book it, Becky is sitting back idle and she's watching Charlotte take the spotlight for Ronda, and this is the battle that Becky needs to have to bring her some closure. This is what she has wanted and tweeted and dreamt about and thought about all this time, right? Because Nia Jax taking it away from her. Charlotte is stepping in and fighting Becky's battles. this could lead to yet another feud between Charlotte and Becky, with Becky feeling some type of way about Charlotte again stealing her spotlight. That is the only logical thing I could see happening here. And at that point, Charlotte would take the title from Becky. Charlotte would be the SmackDown Live Women's Champion. Becky would win the Royal Rumble, and you would get your triple threat match if you really want to do that at WrestleMania. Because you know WWE needs to have Charlotte in there with Ronda and Becky Lynch, being that she made such a big deal about Chapter 2 on Monday Night Raw, did Ronda Rousey. But if Becky wins the Royal Rumble, then she's challenging and has every right to challenge Ronda Rousey one-on-one. So I don't know how WWE is going to book this, but that's the way I'd certainly do it. And again, it's writing itself. Charlotte is acting very reminiscent of Becky Lynch. So there you go with that.
But you know what? This Sunday was for SmackDown. It was for my girls in that locker room. And it was for
And they're spinning the narrative.
Champ.
Fought for the girls, fought for the women in the locker room.
Yep.
Chance of Becky.
You know what, guys? I have spent half my career fighting against Becky Lynch. I have fought with Becky Lynch. And this Sunday, I fought for Becky Lynch.
Again, writing the narrative.
Becky told me
just
to go
pushing it out there
and give Ronda the beating that she would. And you know what? I took that to heart. And I made it my mission. And you know what, guys? Mission accomplished.
And Becky can hang on to every word that Charlotte just said there.
Rousey did? She bowed down. Woo! To the queen! We enjoyed the beating you gave to Ronda. But I don't know if you heard what she said on Monday, but what she said was, she's gonna find you, and she's gonna finish what you started at Survivor Series. Survivor Series, what? You know what, Paige? When's the next pay-per-view? Is that TLC? Is it TLC? Yeah, I think so. Well, you know what? If Ronda sticks her nose in my business again, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna stick her head in another chair and stomp on it a zillion times over and over and over. You wanna know why? Because, Paige, no one is gonna stop me.
So what is her real issue with Ronda Rousey anyway? Like, none of this is happening without Becky Lynch being attached to it in some way. So clearly Becky has to have some sort of issue when she comes back. It literally makes zero sense at all.
See, this is exactly what I'm talking about, Charlotte, and this is exactly why I'm out here. Because you snapped. You snapped. No one can stop you. She put her hands on 5 WWE referees.
They were in my way.
I get it. It's the heat of the moment, the circumstance. I get it. It doesn't matter. You never, under any
I thought she was going to fire her, to be honest with you. I thought she was going to say, you're no longer on SmackDown Live.
Officials. As SmackDown Live General Manager, I will fine you $100,000.
Oh, my God. And then these two irrelevants, these two wastes of contracts come out.
Some sort of trance. It's like you're a female Frankenstein. It's like you're Charlotte Flair on Sunday. That's what it is. Got it. I got it. It was
That's how
so
lowly
weird,
WWE thinks of them.
I like to call it.
We'll put 2 of you out there and you'll get buried by Charlotte.
Psychotic. It's like, hello, is anybody in there? Look, Paige.
A complete eyesore to the entire segment.
We're your favorites. We get it. We get it. The cat's out of the bag. Cat's out the bag. Everybody knows we're your favorites.
So that was pretty much what happened there. I couldn't even listen to them anymore. It was a complete waste of time to have them come out there. So Charlotte being positioned as a heel and then sending 2 heels out there, to me, made no sense. And the entire first half an hour of SmackDown Live was completely wasted, in my honest opinion. So it didn't do anybody any good, and we didn't get any resolution to what happened with Ronda Rousey on Monday night. And the only thing I could think of is exactly what I told you right there. So that's that. So Charlotte beat both Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. Completely throwaway. They did nothing in terms of anything to Charlotte. They got buried, and Charlotte tried to mimic what she did with Ronda Rousey at the Survivor Series, throwing them over the announce table and beating them up. She slammed Billie Kay's head into the commentary table a few times. It is what it is, man. It was a complete waste. The IIconics are so fucking garbage that it's like, why are they even there? Why didn't you call them up to SmackDown Live if this is exactly what you're going to do with them? It's a fucking... They were so much better they were actually watchable in NXT. They have not given me 1 ounce of that same feeling on SmackDown Live. I know it's not their fault, but they're just trash. Complete trash on SmackDown Live. So we got The Miz. This is the other thing that happened that really just wasted all of our times. The Miz was in LA. He was getting a big babyface reaction on SmackDown Live. His home is in LA. They were in LA, and I still don't know who paid for Raw or SmackDown Live after NXT and Survivor Series on Saturday and Sunday. But The Miz was in LA, and he was hosting MizTV with Shane McMahon as his guest. So we had the World Cup trophy standing out by ringside on a nice little table. It was being displayed. It makes everybody just as nauseous now as it did then when Shane wanted a crown jewel. So they were together on MizTV, and The Miz wanted Shane to form a new tag team in the WWE on SmackDown Live. They wanted to be known as the best tag team in the world, and this was absolutely god-awful.
You know, please have a seat. You know, you're a little banged up from Survivor Series, but dare I say, man, your performance at Survivor Series was nothing short of transcendent. Being in the ring up close, watching you with such reckless abandon, as the kids would say, I am a Shane stan. And it was only fitting that...
That's what the trolls on social media call us, Becky stans.
For SmackDown Live.
Fucking losers.
Thank you. Just like at WWE World Cup, we fought to the bitter end. We put everything on the line. We sacrificed it all for our brand. We flew from turnbuckle and crashed into tables. We went coast to coast, not once, but twice.
We.
Can Miz suck up any more to Shane McMahon?
Like the we
Shane didn't understand.
I remember it. Leapt from the turnbuckle, take out the monster among men on the table. Then, yeah, coast to coast on Dolph Ziggler. Went to go for one on Bobby Lashley. Then I got clothesline out of the air from Braun Strowman. And quite frankly, I don't remember much after that.
Look, when I say we, I am talking as a team. I am a team player. I am the captain. I'm the one that motivates.
Team SmackDown.
The best
not the
in
Miz.
The world needs a little encouragement sometimes.
He's growing up.
Thank you. So, Miz, this is your show. Again, privileged to be on it. And during the interview process, normally the host will have a question, right?
Right. Sorry. I'm just I'm a little nervous.
Really?
I've been working on this for a while. Shane.
It's like he's on a first date.
Since I am 2/3 best in the world and you are 1/3 best in the world, yet you won WWE World Cup. I mean, it is sitting right there and it looks absolutely amazing. Shane, I just have one and only one question to ask you. Shane McMahon, will you team up with me?
Team up to do what?
Tag team.
Yes, because we have tag teams on this show that you don't utilize that are actually real tag teams, and this is the tag team that you want to propose.
This could be something. Shane McMahon, The Miz, co-besties. Think about it, Shane. Best team in the world. I mean, we
Get
can
the
workshop
fuck
the name,
outta
but
here.
At Survivor Series,
That's the team I'm giving you.
Commissioner, I saw a fighter. I saw a survivor.
Yes, he's 48 years old.
Dare I say, a champion.
What a suck-up.
Well, Miz, I am flattered. But of course, with your duties here at MizTV, being an amazing WWE superstar and mine as commissioner, I don't know if...
Shane, this is not the reaction I thought I would get. As a matter of fact, this is the opposite. I thought you would be jumping for joy. I thought I'd get a little bit of this. I know, but I mean, I thought you'd be really, really excited. Everyone's excited about this. I mean, I actually went to Paige earlier tonight, and I really think this could be something special. And if you're a man, if you are as much as a man, you know what, strike that. If you are as much of a McMahon as I think you are, then you will team with me against some competition right here, right now.
This is really happening.
Oh yeah, they dipped into the WWE 2K19 Creator Suite.
2 tag team specialists from Los Angeles, California, Wayne and Dane, the Bryans. Yes,
I
get
swear.
these out of here.
The
What is happening
Bryans?
right now?
I think I saw Dave
Shane,
Bryan out on
I'll go.
Figueroa
I'll go
Street
first.
selling bootleg
I'll go
merchandise.
Get this out of here.
Very clear
Don't
business.
go.
So listen, this was a complete waste of everybody's time. I don't know where they're going with this, but the more rumors that we hear about Shane McMahon getting a WrestleMania match, the more I see it being The Miz and Shane turning heel, and then that's going to turn The Miz into a babyface. And I don't know if I really give a shit about both of these guys in their current roles in this current state for a WrestleMania match. Maybe in 2 or 3 months I'll feel a little bit different, but the fact that this is being built over a completely worthless trophy coming out of Crown Jewel is ridiculous. The fact that they even proposed a tag team on this show with The Miz and Shane McMahon, and they batted that around and kind of teased that, was utterly ridiculous. When you got a show with the Usos, that's time away from the Usos. Sanity, that's time away from Sanity. The Club, like, is this your priority? Like, I don't understand how this is going to generate interest from anybody. I'm already over this shit. And this is the legit best that they have for both of these guys. Nobody wants to see a 48-year-old Shane McMahon in a wrestling ring anymore. At all. And you know he's going to get his fucking cliche WrestleMania match because he's a fucking McMahon. But against The Miz? Come on, man. This is absolutely worthless to me. Worthless. And I said it when I recorded some videos today about WWE 2K19. I had a little segment with The Miz involved in the game. The Miz being a heel is the way to go. There's just some guys on this roster that you don't want to see a babyface, and The Miz is one of them. No matter how he got cheered in LA, I don't want to see The Miz as a babyface. I don't. Some guys are just a natural dick. Some guys are just a natural heel. The Miz is that. And if this is the best that they got for both of these guys, and we have to watch this play out, you know, this isn't Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens of yesteryear. This is the fucking Miz. So you're going to have to really, really dig deep and write something special for me to fucking care about this shit. Seriously. This was a waste of time, and The Miz actually lost to these two bums. The Miz actually got rolled up by these guys, the Bryant brothers. So he was kind of teasing a tag with Shane McMahon. Shane didn't want to tag in. He's like, you got this. You got this. You're Mr. Big Shot. And he got small packaged. And that was it. Dane rolled him up for the win with a small package out of nowhere. Wayne and Dane, after the match, rush out. They start celebrating. Shane looks on with a smirk on his face, and The Miz can't believe what happened. Wondered why Shane left him hanging there with the tag. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Tag team wrestling at its finest. Only gets worse, folks. Only gets worse. Oh, worse. We had a Thanksgiving feast tonight. We had the New Day versus The Bar and The Big Show. Now, I don't know how everybody else feels here, but I will not take too much of your time on this complete garbage. Now, Xavier Woods came out wearing a 6-1 t-shirt because he's really pushing the campaign of SmackDown being on the pre-show and winning their match. Now, if you guys haven't read the rumors, someone in WWE management who produced that match actually booked it wrong. The other people of upper management didn't realize that SmackDown had won and Raw was supposed to win that match. Meaning the Revival were supposed to get a win over the Usos, believe it or not. And then they just, which makes it very hard to believe because turn around on Monday Night Raw, they lost to a fucking piñata on Monday Night Raw to the Lucha House Party. So I don't know who to believe, but the Revival were supposed to beat the Usos. We're talking about Sunday. So it was supposed to be a complete shutout by Monday Night Raw. And something got fucked up there. Vince didn't oversee this, apparently. So Xavier Woods came out wearing a New Day, or 6-1 shirt. He was dressed as a fucking pilgrim. 6-1. If WWE is smart, they would actually turn this into a storyline. And by storyline, I mean kind of make amends and kind of some way right around this and fuse the divisions together. Because the state of tag team wrestling right now is completely horrendous. And if you were going to entice the Young Bucks, who have been a tag team all their life, to come into the WWE and this is what you're presenting them, then you will never get the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, to come on into the WWE. I'm sorry. On Monday Night Raw, we had the authors of piss, the authors of pain, come out, and they have a dominant team with Akam and Razor on Monday Night Raw, and they put them with Drake Maverick, and they had Drake Maverick piss his pants. By default, the authors of pain now are a complete fucking comedy act on Monday Night Raw. That is not how you create intimidating tag team champions. So what does WWE do here on SmackDown Live with their tag team champions? Raw's tag team champions need fucking diapers and they're pissing themselves. SmackDown Live's tag team champions is having stuffing, pumpkin pie, and cranberry sauce thrown in their face. I could not believe the horrors that I was seeing on this show. This was absolutely fucking horrendous. Your tag team champions on both brands have been pissed on and have been fucking in a terrible food fight with Thanksgiving fucking food thrown all over them. And this is how you're going to present tag team wrestling on the main roster. This is exactly why Monday Night Raw is getting 1.63 ratings. And believe it or not, people were telling me that Fox 5 executives or Fox Sports executives were in attendance for SmackDown Live. They signed SmackDown Live to a $1 billion television deal next year in October of 2019. If I'm a Fox executive and I'm seeing this, I'm rescinding my offer. I'm taking the contract from Vince McMahon and I'm ripping that shit up right in front of him as I watch tears fall down his face. This is pathetic. And then I have people on social media telling me, well, we need a few laughs here and there on the show. We need a good comedy segment. There's nothing wrong with good old-fashioned innocent comedy. You wouldn't see this shit in NXT. You wouldn't see this shit in any other promotion as far as champions go. Aren't champions supposed to be revered? Ronda Rousey was out on Monday night telling you about how revered champions are and how champions are fighting and determined and prideful. Here we got tag team champions on Raw being pissed on and tag team champions on SmackDown Live having cranberry sauce thrown in their face. So how prideful could you be of champions in the tag team division of WWE? It's pathetic. It's pathetic. In my worst nightmare, I would never dream of something this bad. It was god awful. And if this is how WWE is treating both of its divisions, then we need to fix this and we need to merge these divisions like I've been saying for 2.5 years. There is no place. I don't give a shit who you are. There is no place for this on this program. Monday or Tuesday night. All because it's Halloween. We don't need a trick or treat street fight. All because it's Thanksgiving. We don't need a holiday Thanksgiving feast fight. All because it's Christmas. We don't need a Miracle on 34th Street fight. We don't need Santa and Mrs. Claus roaming. Fuck this shit, man. These are your tag team champions. Treat them with some fucking dignity, with some respect. This is Sheamus and Cesaro, 5-time tag team champions. And you're treating them like garbage. AOP, undefeated in NXT for over a year, with Paul Ellering, in War Games, Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic winners. And all of a sudden you place them with a guy that's not even bigger than Akam's leg. And like Jericho said, you have them listen to a guy who's fucking 1/4 of their size. What the fuck are they going to listen to him for? And then he pissed his pants. Would Paul Ellering be pissing his pants? Holy shit, man. What did I say months ago? These guys would have been perfect as backup for Dean Ambrose. These guys would have been perfect as Paul Heyman guys. There was rumors going around with Roman Reigns being a Paul Heyman guy. Remember those stories? What about the AOP? Paul Heyman is there even when Brock Lesnar's not there. Paul Heyman's backstage working on Ronda Rousey and her promos. So would it be too difficult to put the AOP with someone as legit as Paul Heyman? You put them with Drake fucking Maverick and have him piss his goddamn pants. Then you got Sheamus and Cesaro fucking throwing turkeys around, pumpkin pie around, Big Show's going through fucking tables with fucking Thanksgiving food on it. Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to sit home and chuckle, ha, 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 about fucking comedy on my wrestling show. They don't need comedy skits like this. The shows are already comically bad. Spare me the laughs. The toilet humor didn't work, and this didn't work. Fuck out of here with this garbage, man. New Day wins if you even give a shit about the tag team champions being buried on their Thanksgiving feast. Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose versus Asuka and Naomi. Asuka and Naomi win here. I don't even know why these two are still a team, to be honest with you. The only thing that we can all conceive of is the fact that the women's tag team championships are coming. And these two will be a team moving forward. But Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, there was hints of a breakup. There were even rumors going into the Survivor Series that WWE was going to split Mandy Rose from Sonya Deville. And I can tell already, and I can tell you already, who WWE sees the more money in. Obviously, Mandy Rose is going to be pushed over Sonya Deville based on her look alone. And Mandy Rose is going to have a push that is going to have a rocket pack strapped to her, and she's going to go nowhere but up. Not because I want her there, but because WWE is set to do that. And you can see that with what is happening here. It is all but inevitable that this split, right now, to me, it doesn't make sense, but this split is coming. Asuka and Naomi win here. Asuka lock on Deville for the win. Clearly, they didn't even give Mandy Rose the loss. They had Sonya take the Asuka lock. Daniel Bryan. This is the other thing I wanted to talk about. Daniel Bryan comes out, and we all wanted an explanation as to what was going on with Daniel Bryan as he went into his match with Brock Lesnar at the Survivor Series. Now, Bryan worked Lesnar at the Survivor Series as a babyface. Now, he came out as a heel. He mocked Lesnar. He was jumping around like Lesnar. He was playing cat and mouse with Brock Lesnar at the Survivor Series until he pissed off Lesnar enough, and then he dropped him right on the back of his fucking head with that first suplex. But after that, Bryan was being beaten down, and Lesnar was being rained on with same old shit chants or boring chants, and Daniel Bryan mounted a comeback. He did a heel-like maneuver and kicked Brock Lesnar in the dick, and he then fought as a babyface on his way to what was hoping to be a miraculous comeback. But Daniel Bryan worked that Brock Lesnar match, majority of it babyface, amongst all the heel-like antics he did with Brock Lesnar. So he comes out, and Bryan says he didn't expect the people to understand this, but this explanation isn't for them. And he starts talking in the third person. So AJ is the reason for his explanation. Bryan says, as an act of betrayal, he was committed, or act of betrayal was committed, but it wasn't last Tuesday. It was nearly 3 years ago when Bryan stood in front of the people and announced his retirement. Okay? Following along here? Bryan's betrayal came when he gave up on his dreams. So he goes on to say the difference between Bryan and the people is that he does not accept failure. Bryan says he learned his lesson and decided to fight. He went all across the country and saw all these doctors, and under their recommendations, he spent 3 hours every single day in a hyperbaric chamber. Bryan talks about being in the chamber and how it was designed to speed up the healing process. Bryan says it did more than that. It allowed him the silence needed to meditate on his new mantra. Fight for your dreams and they will fight for you. That's exactly what he said when he made the announcement of he was coming back. So there were mixed reactions at this point. People still don't know what side of the fence to be on, whether they want to cheer Bryan or whether they want to boo Bryan. Bryan says it worked. How else would you explain the miracle of him returning to the ring against all odds? Bryan goes on then about the yes chants when he came back and says it was just a moment in time for them. They weren't for the hard times, family getting upset at his decision, the psychiatric help that he got, and the others telling him to move on. Bryan says the only people that moved on were these people. He calls them idiots and tries to get them to chant Styles' name. Bryan calls the fans fickle. He brings up how the yes chants grew quieter each week, which we all knew, but that wasn't his fault. That was just WWE putting him in a position where the WWE fans didn't want to chant yes anymore because there was no reason for them to. In 2014, there was a reason for them to. So Bryan, for whatever reason, stopped fighting. Bryan says with the referee down last week, he didn't allow himself to give up on his dreams. They took over and did what they were designed to do in that chamber. They took over and kicked AJ Styles in the balls. Daniel Bryan then says dreams made him realize he didn't need these people for anything. His dreams told him at Survivor Series he didn't need to beat Brock Lesnar to win. Bryan won by allowing Lesnar to beat the weakness out of him. Bryan's dreams told him to allow Lesnar to beat the weakness out of him, and there would then be a new emergence after that match, and there has been. The old Daniel Bryan is dead, he says. The yes movements and the yes chant is dead. Bryan goes on and raises the WWE title up, looking at it, very similar to what Ciampa does with Goldie, and that was his explanation. He says the only thing that matters is that you never give up on your dreams again. And he goes to stand on the announce table and he's smiling and smirking and nobody knows what the fuck is going through Daniel Bryan's mind. So that was his explanation. In my honest opinion, this was weak, this was lame, and this was not good enough to make a diehard Daniel Bryan fan boo him. You're not going to get me to boo Daniel Bryan based on that because it all makes too much sense. If Daniel Bryan really wanted to be a legit heel, he would have to do something similar like Samoa Joe did to AJ Styles. He would have to do something similar to what Randy Orton did tonight to Rey Mysterio. AJ Styles might not be the ideal opponent for Daniel Bryan to turn heel against because everything that's happened to AJ Styles or everything dastardly that could have been done to AJ Styles has been done already. Just look at Samoa Joe for your prime example. Daniel Bryan kicking somebody in the balls just like everybody else this year has kicked everybody else in the balls. Styles has been through that. Kicking somebody in the balls or kicking a big babyface in the balls or in the dick is not going to get him booed by the WWE audience. You need to channel your inner Ciampa. That's what you need to do. And this was not reminiscent of any of that whatsoever. The looks he gave the title were very similar or reminiscent of what Ciampa does with Goldie, but the overall basis of Daniel Bryan turning heel is weak, lame, and it's not creative whatsoever. And it's just WWE going through the motions to get us a Daniel Bryan AJ Styles match at TLC just because it's a good feud or a good match or a good contest for the WWE Championship. Unless WWE is fully committed on turning Daniel Bryan 100% heel, then I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to invest my time in it. You either go all in or you don't go all in at all. There's no 50-50 here. Okay? The diehards like me and the diehards like you who are watching me who are fans of Daniel Bryan, you want to see 100% heel Daniel Bryan. We didn't get that here. All I got was, okay, Brock Lesnar snapped some sense into me. Let me call the fans idiots and stupid. Let me go out here and say the yes chants are dead. The old Daniel Bryan is dead. That's not going to do it for me. It's not going to do it for anybody. We're still going to respect Daniel Bryan at the end of the day because he's one of the best wrestlers on the planet. And he's the WWE champion. As far as I'm concerned, what is there to boo Daniel Bryan about? The guy was retired for 4 years. He was told he would never come back. And now here he is, back with the title that he never lost. As far as I'm concerned, that's not somebody I want to boo. So Vince McMahon better get it through his head. You better be writing some dastardly shit for this guy, or I don't give a shit about Daniel Bryan being a heel. You go all in, or you don't go all in at all. There's no 50-50 here. This is not some in-betweener shit. Okay? This is Daniel Bryan. So we got the match with AJ Styles at TLC. What does that accomplish? What is that going to accomplish? All I can see right now is a lukewarm title run for Daniel Bryan. Unfair to Daniel Bryan because WWE is not creative enough to write for Daniel Bryan as a heel. You better get somebody to write for this guy. You better start listening to the shit that he wants to do. I think he's got a better mind than everybody in that creative room. Start listening to him and start incorporating some of his ideas. Maybe something will click because I don't trust WWE at all to write for this fucking guy during this reign. They couldn't get it right with Styles. They couldn't get it right with Nakamura. They're going to get it right with Bryan? Come on, man. Complete garbage. Yet I complain about the fucking product. Open your eyes and watch what I'm watching every fucking week. Maybe you'll understand. Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton, pegged as a main event pay-per-view level match with 10 minutes left to go on the show. Sure, they would have more than 10 minutes on pay-per-view, which I'm sure we will get at TLC. But this match didn't do anything for me, man. Randy Orton wins with an RKO. There was a great spot in this match where Rey did a baseball slide underneath the ring, and Randy Orton caught him with the RKO on the outside. Randy Orton was trying to rip his mask throughout most of this match, which, by the way, I knew was going to happen because I called Rey Mysterio before Rey Mysterio was even debuted on WWE television. I called Rey Mysterio being the next idol on Randy Orton's hit list. Now, it was very easy to figure out, but, I mean, given 2 months ago, I said, this 3 months ago, before Rey Mysterio even debuted, while he was doing his thing with Jeff Hardy, there you go. Now we got Randy Orton and Rey Mysterio feuding. We got Randy Orton trying to rip the mask off Rey Mysterio. That's what a heel does. So that's what Daniel Bryan should be doing as a heel. There's no in-between heel babyface in 2018. You're either all heel or all babyface. I don't want to see this in-between shit. So start ripping some masks off some Lucha Libre guys. Something. Disrespect will go a long way. The fans are used to being shit on. Dean Ambrose came out and said the LA fans smell 2 or 3 times last night. Randy Orton RKO to Rey Mysterio. He ripped Rey's mask off. Half of it was hanging off his face for half the match. After the match, Orton stands tall. He exits the ring, grabs a steel chair. Orton brings the chair over as Rey is rolling out of the ring. Referee tries to stop Orton, but who the fuck's going to stop Randy Orton? I know I ain't. Orton wraps the chair around Rey's face, rams it into the ring post face first. Orton then removes Rey's mask, and the camera is right behind Rey, shooting down at him. He's got no mask on. His face is being covered by the steel chair. He's bloodied on his elbow. Randy Orton takes the mask and raises the mask in the air as a trophy of his fine work this evening. That's a heel, folks. That is a heel. So that was SmackDown Live, man. I don't know what to think about this show. There was really nothing of substance on this show that I could really sink my teeth into, and that doesn't mean anything good at all for TLC. So I don't know what the fuck you guys are thinking about with TLC. We're getting matches, but we're not really getting a good explanation for what happened coming out of the Survivor Series. Both Raw and SmackDown failed miserably. And I mean bombed big time. So I don't know what's going on here, man. They got a lot of work to do on Charlotte, with Becky, with Daniel Bryan. Seems like the only one who has been booked brilliantly during his entire run on SmackDown Live this year is Randy Orton. I don't know what else to tell you. Randy Orton is so easy to book for, and they're getting it right with him. Why is it so difficult with everybody else? Because plans constantly change, they don't know what they want to do, and internal politics take over. Random heel turns happen out of nowhere. Random title changes happen out of nowhere a week before the pay-per-view. Come on, man. You got to do better. And please, what is going on with the tag team titles? Cut the shit. Tired of it, man. So god-awful. I'm getting out of here, guys. Thank you so very much for everything. If you guys want to hit that subscribe button, please do so down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. If you guys want to support the podcast, there are a few ways to do it, man. You guys can subscribe, hit the bell, turn on the notifications. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. Hit that follow button on Twitter as well, @JD from NY206. And listen, man, Barbershop Window has a new sale for Black Friday. I have 18 designs on Barbershop Window. You could save 35% off on barbershopwindow.com. Ignore the 20% that you see there. It's 35% for the next 6 days. 35%, use code Black Friday and get yourself a fucking t-shirt, man. This is the time to do it. If you guys have ever wanted to support by buying a t-shirt but you didn't have the funds, Barbershop Window is going to save you 35% off, man. So go there right now, barbershopwindow.com/off-the-script. Let me get the fuck out of here because I got fucking a bunch of idiots upstairs banging because they don't realize that I'm making some fucking content down here for you guys and some money and how I support paying rent down here. So let me get the hell out of here, guys. Thank you so very much. I'll see you guys tomorrow for NXT. I believe it's Matt Riddle versus Cassius Ohno. And I'll see you guys for NXT and some other content for the rest of your Wednesdays right here on the channel, guys. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys tomorrow right here on the channel. Talk to you later.